Hello, today I'm going to be showing you how to set up a simple network in Cisco Packet Tracer. It's going to have two computers, a switch, and a router. So to add devices, you're going to want to go down to the bottom left-hand corner of your screen and choose End Devices. Now you can drag and drop computers onto the screen. So these are now added to the network. And then we can do the same thing with network devices. We have switches down here. You can drag and drop. So we have a switch and a router. This is a very simple setup, probably like a home network. You probably might not even have a switch, but to connect these together, you're going to want to grab a automatic cable. For the switch, it's a straight through cable. So it's a flat cable like this, and from the switch to the router is the same. Now, if you had a computer by itself and did this, it would make a crossover cable. Now, technology is pretty smart nowadays, so it doesn't necessarily matter what you use to connect them. It will figure out what it's supposed to do and allow access. But I just wanted you to be aware of that. So right now, theoretically, this computer and this computer can talk to each other because they are green, which means that the ports on here are enabled, so these could communicate with each other. I don't want to delete that. So if I went into here and there's nothing configured for the IP address, which is here, nothing on the terminals, nothing. So the first thing we need to do is configure the router, because the router is right out of the box, nothing configured. You can do this in multiple ways. You can configure it here through the interfaces here, but this isn't necessarily the way that you should, because the UI, the GUI, doesn't always have all the abilities. So you should get familiar with the CLI, and that's this. Now, this is giving us exactly what we're at currently. So the commands to get into this is enable, configure terminal, and then the interface, which is the interface that this is connected to. So if you hold your mouse over the red, it'll tell you what it's plugged into. So it's gig 000 is what it's plugged into. And we want this guy right here. So we want interface gigabit Ethernet 000. So we want to close out of gigabit Ethernet 001, which is what we're connected to, and we want to connect to interface G000. So now we're in this, the interface that this cable is plugged into. We want to tell the router what that interface should and will be. So we want to tell it to be IP address. We'll do 192.168.1.1, and you have to put the subnet mask in. So 255.255.255.0. And enter. So now it has that IP address. Now with Cisco switches, you have to enable that port. So you have to say no shutdown, because currently that interface is shut down, meaning it is not enabled. So if you say no shutdown, that enables it. And notice how it turned green. So now theoretically we are all done in the router, because we still have to do the same thing for the computers. So this router is 192.168.1.1. Well, that means we need to configure both the computers to also be on that network so that it can it can talk to the switch. So if I go in here and go to configuration for fast Ethernet 00, you have the IP configuration. I can go in here, type in 192.168.1. We'll say 50, and it will automatically fill the subnet mask in. So this computer is done. Same thing on this one. You need to do the same thing. 192.168.1.51. So this should automatically fill in stat not fast Ethernet 00. Perfect. And we also need to tell it what the default gateway is. So the default gateway is under settings. Oh, that's where I was typing. You gotta make sure to go into settings and go to default gateway, tell it that it's the router. So now that that has the router set, this one also needs the router set 68.1.1. So it has a default gateway of the router, and it has the IP address set for itself. So now we should be able to ping the router as well as ping the other computer. So if we go in here and do real time, and then go to the computer, go into the desktop, and go to the command prompt, you can then do ping 192.168.1.1. And now this is making communication through this cable to the switch up to the router, and then the router is communicating back. And then if I go in here and do 192.168.1.51, which is the other computer, oh, need to do ping in front of that, ping. So this one is going through the switch up to the router. Actually, it might not be going to the router, it might just be going like this. If I could, I believe, do simulation and do that again, it'll show us. So now we have the email little icon, and if I go forward, it sends that to the switch, and then it goes straight to the other computer, and then the computer sends a return reply request. So that is the very basics of setting up a simple network in Cisco Packet Tracer. The next one would be to set up a additional network off to the side so that both these networks be able to communicate to each other. So that will be in a following video. Anyways, I hope this video helped you. I had to use Cisco Packet Tracer during my cybersecurity degree, and I'm very familiar with it. So I just want to make a quick tutorial so that anyone struggling knows exactly how this can function and how to use it.